Philadelphia in the 1970s was a city of contrast. The Liberty Bell and Independence Hall on one side, history and hope. On the other, rising crime rates, abandoned row houses, and entire neighborhoods left to crumble. In the summer of 1975, one of those houses became the center of a mystery that remains unsolved nearly 50 years later. It began when neighbors reported strange noises coming from a boarded-up row house in North Philadelphia. People claimed they heard footsteps late at night, the sound of furniture scraping across the floor, and sometimes a low hum, almost like a voice, though no one could make out the words. Eventually, the police were called. What they found inside was unsettling. The house was stripped bare except for a single wooden chair, sitting in the middle of the room. Scattered across the floor were dozens of photographs. At first glance, they seemed like ordinary snapshots. Men walking to work, women sitting on their porches, children playing in the street. But there was something wrong. No one in the neighborhood recognized a single face. The photos didn't match the community. These weren't neighbors. They weren't people from around the block. And when detectives checked city records, they couldn't identify a single individual. The negatives were missing. Every photo had been carefully developed. But the originals, the film strips, were nowhere to be found. Detectives canvassed the city, asking shopkeepers, mail carriers, even school officials if they recognized the people in the photos. No one did. It was as if these strangers had been plucked from nowhere, their lives frozen on film, left in an abandoned house for someone to find. Whispers spread quickly. Who was taking these photos and why? Some believed it was the work of an obsessed stalker, documenting people without their knowledge. Others feared something worse, a predator cataloging potential victims. But if that was the case, where were they? No missing persons matched the photographs. No families came forward. The house itself offered no answers. No furniture, no dishes, no evidence that anyone had been living there. Just the chair and the photographs. Within weeks, the case went cold. There were no suspects, no fingerprints, no leads, but the story didn't fade. Locals began calling the figure behind the mystery the Watcher of Philadelphia. Parents warned their kids not to linger outside after dark. Neighbors reported seeing figures in alleyways, watching from a distance but vanishing when approached. Years later, in the early 1980s, the row house was demolished as part of redevelopment, but the photographs remained in police storage, eerie artifacts of a case with no resolution. And here's where the story grows even stranger. In 1992, nearly 2 decades later, a box of similar photographs surfaced at a flea market just outside Philadelphia. Different images, different people. Same style, faces no one could identify. When investigators compared them to the originals from 1975, the film stock matched. Whoever took them was still out there, or had been for years, but no suspect was ever found. And the people in the photographs were never identified. Today, the legend lives on. Locals still talk about the Watcher. Some believe he was a recluse with a dark obsession. Others whisper about something far stranger, a figure not bound by time, collecting snapshots of lives that were never meant to be remembered. One thing is certain, the Watcher of Philadelphia left behind more questions than answers. A story that feels less like history and more like a haunting. So the next time you walk through an old city block, glance over your shoulder. Someone may be watching, someone may be taking notes, and maybe, just maybe, your face could end up in a photograph no one can explain. This is another unsettling tale in our seasonal scary mystery series, The Watcher of Philadelphia, as told by Elias Cross.